Hot topic of the day, Teddy. What else would it be? Selection Sunday. We're already through it. We're setting up the games and the matchup lines are moving as we speak. Duke gets the #1 overall seed with the ACC tourney win. Also, two other ACC teams, Teddy, UVA and UNC, making a 3-pack on the top line. Impressive as we start out March Madness here at sportsbookraview.com, Teddy.
Sure, but as we talk about seemingly every year in March, it's let's figure out how to screw the mid-majors. And as serious college basketball fans, like you are, Donnie, and like I am, guys that watch college hoops all night, all year, yeah, I want to see an NC Greensboro in the tournament a lot more than I want to see a St. John's, let's say, in the tournament. But NC Greensboro, bye-bye. In fact, for all of this, the mid-majors aren't getting shafted. Four mid-major at-large bids. And one of them was to a #1 seed, Gonzaga. Another one to a team that no lock in Nevada. Belmont and Temple. The two, well, maybe we get these guys in, maybe we don't. Mid-majors that get bids. That's the tournament selection committee doing what they do, which is giving us stuff to bitch about on a Monday morning. All that being said, you have to appreciate the field. There's going to be a ton of good matchups over the next 3 weeks. And with 3 ACC teams getting #1 seeds, look, I can argue, I can complain, I can bitch and moan. It is what it is. It's not that egregious to see the 3 ACC teams get the top 3 seeds in all of college basketball.
Now, it always makes me laugh too, Teddy, because it seems like we cry over spilled milk more about the things that don't matter. Like, man, NC State really got shafted in this tournament. Well, was NC State going to make a run and win it? Probably not. Or, my goodness, they didn't watch Michigan State beat Michigan 3 straight times, and now look, they're in the 2 seed, and they're in this region, in this environment. Let's let it play out on the basketball court. There's way too many things going on here as moving parts. It's going to be a lot of fun there, Teddy. But overall, if we take a look at the Selection Sunday, I thought the committee did a pretty good job. Obviously, they're not going to be perfect. Did you feel anybody got left out that you would have liked seeing in? Or maybe like one of those mid-majors got bumped for one of those major teams that, 7, 8, 9 losses on the season? How about it? Anything on there?
All right, the Indianas and the NC States of the world who are bitching and moaning on a Monday morning, sorry. I have no sympathy for you at all. And I was looking forward to betting on Indiana in the tournament. I thought, hey, if I get a chance, the Hoosiers can catch. They're a team that may have some upside in the NIT, which we do not want to forget about. We'll talk about that later in the show. But when it comes to snubs, since the field went from 64 to 68, since they added those play-in games, which aren't play-in games, they're official tournament games, but we all know what they are. They're play-in games. Since they added those, I really haven't seen the ridiculous snubs, the particularly ugly snubs, the, Utah State going 29-3 and not getting a bid type of thing. That hasn't been happening in recent years as much. All that being said, am I satisfied with the field where it is? Yeah. Is the seeding ridiculous? Of course it is. It is every year. Are the matchups designed to screw a lot of mid-majors? Yeah, they are. I'm never happy with it. But all that being said, when it comes to snub teams, I really don't have any significant arguments with the exception of Greensboro. I thought Greensboro deserved a bid.
Yeah, it's the only shame for me, Teddy, is, sometimes you take that fandom into it a little bit. I'm a Temple fan, and I love the fact that Temple actually got in the tournament. I thought they deserved it. And then I'm saying to myself, the only other team I would love to see, and Lipscomb I didn't think was going to get in, but, light the candles and say a prayer. Hopefully they do. But Belmont gets in, Teddy, and that one little cheer to adulation, like, yes, Temple got in, and they play Belmont. So, as a fandom there, I wish they would have had a little bit of separate brackets or maybe separate in that first 4 in, but it was kind of funny. You get what you wish for, and then they match up my 2 squads against each other. So weekend wrap-up in college basketball, Teddy. It was really interesting as it came down the wire. Who knows how much input these last couple of games, especially on Sunday, actually meant to the tournament committee, because Michigan State rolling over Michigan. Some think they didn't get enough seeds in there, but Auburn running through the SEC, pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah. But in terms of how much the committee impacts the Sunday results is actually none. Pretty much none. The Saturday results, very, very limited. I don't blame them. It's not an easy job to seed 68 teams, and they do a bad job of it every year. So changing it more around on Sunday would be in line for more mistakes, in my opinion. But you have to be impressed with what Auburn did, obviously running through the SEC in a very impressive 4 games in 4 days, win and cover. They didn't cover against Florida in the semis, but a really impressive run for Auburn that I didn't know they could do that on a neutral floor. Villanova gets a title, doesn't cover any point spreads. Nova 0-2 against the number over the weekend. Yeah, they cut down the nets, but if you backed them, you got burned and you got burned again. And of course, Michigan State with the really impressive refuse to lose, come from behind win against the Wolverines on Sunday in Big Ten action, despite a bevy of injuries. Boy, the Sparty showed some toughness yesterday. Of course, they were rewarded by getting a worse seed than Michigan, despite the fact that they beat them on all 3 occasions this season.
Yeah, exactly. When you take a look at Villanova, winning the Big East regular season, winning the Big East tournament there, and then Marquette, sort of upseeds them a little bit. It's kind of interesting the way it plays out. But again, it'll take place on the court. Teddy, when we talk about sportsbookreview.com, we always like free money. I like free money. You like free money, Teddy. How about the free roll tournament coming up here presented by Bovada? First place grand prize. Looks like it's still to be determined out there, but a total of $4,000 Teddy. 2 tickets to the Final Four, 2 round-trip flights, 4 nights hotel, spending money, taxi services. Who doesn't like a free roll tournament here, Teddy, at sportsbookreview.com?
Look, that's a cool prize, I mean, if you win a trip to the Final Four with plane tickets, with 4 nights hotel, that's kind of cool. It's worth checking out. So find out all the details, sportsbookreview.com.
Yeah, it should be a good one. And up to 31 people getting paid out in this. And once again, Teddy, I don't know if you live your life this way, but I do. If it's free, it's me. I'll certainly be in that tournament. We'll have some fun and join it too. And again, as Teddy said, check out some details here at sportsbookreview.com as we get going. Follow us on Twitter at SBR Sports Picks. Sunday NBA. Yes, there was NBA action. Yes, the NBA doesn't take a few weeks off because March Madness is here. Sixers finally get a big win over the Bucks in an offensive showcase. Getting 5, Teddy, those Sixers were. Pretty much carried the stretch all the way through 123 to 125. Joel Embiid, monster game, 40, 15, and 6. And Giannis, no slouch in a losing matter, Teddy. 52 points by the Greek Freak.
Yeah, Giannis was nuts yesterday, but it wasn't enough. Obviously, the fourth quarter, just insanity. Both teams attacking the rim relentlessly throughout that fourth quarter. 84 combined points. Game flew over the total. But you saw the sharp money come in on Philadelphia before tip-off. And it was a steady flow of sharp money on the Sixers. Number one, the Sixers taking that game real seriously. Number two, you want to talk impact injuries that will not be reflected in the point spread. Malcolm Brogdon matters for Milwaukee. He really does. Both ends of the floor. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. He doesn't move the needle on the point spread. But the Bucks are not as good a team today as they were last week at this time without their starting shooting guard.
Teddy, it's the 18th. Believe it or not, on the 20th, there will be Major League Baseball, real live bullets flying here, ready to get you going as we show each and every time on that betting show. We preview a different team. Today's team, Teddy, the Washington Nationals, 82-80 in 2018. The Nationals currently sit at 16-1 to win the 2019 World Series. And how about this? We previewed the Phillies just a couple days back. 89 was their team total. The Nationals also set at 89, throwing the Braves, throwing the Mets. You got a pretty good division here. No problem for the no problem for the Nationals. Juan Soto looking to fill in those mighty big boots that Bryce left in order to go to Philadelphia. Still got some really good pitching on this team. The one thing that's interesting, Teddy, 5-year trend, 96 wins, 83 wins, 95, 97, and took a little bit of a dip back to 82. But this still is a good baseball team. Bryce Harper or no Bryce Harper, Teddy?
Sure. I mean, look at the win total. The win total is telling you they're a good team. And certainly they were an underachieving team last year. As you mentioned, they won 97 games. Finished in first place 2017, said that's not good enough. Dusty Baker, bye-bye. And they bring in Dave Martinez, and obviously it wasn't the manager. Not that I was a fan of Dusty Baker, but Martinez, I think, was actually worse, which is hard to imagine. In addition, in that season, they despite having a miserable year, they went over the luxury tax threshold last year. So this year, they'll be a 3-time repeat offender if they go over the luxury tax threshold, which tells us, and from all indications are, they're not going to be buyers anymore. They've been buyers at the trade deadline. That may not be the case this year. It's going to cost them a lot of money to be a buyer. They did make one big free agent move. Obviously, Harper goes bye-bye, but they bring in Patrick Corbin to that staff. And boy, you talk about Scherzer, Strasburg, and Corbin. That's a pretty good 1, 2, 3. Of course, they got $500 million invested in those 3 guys. So if anyone gets hurt, it could be a problem. But you have to like this lineup too, even without Bryce Harper. Juan Soto is the next Bryce Harper in a lot of ways. Anthony Rendon has been a monster for them. He's someone they're trying to re-sign. Trey Turner's been good. The catching tandem of Gomes and Suzuki is all right, especially in terms of framing, compared to Matt Wieters, who couldn't frame a pitch for anybody last year. There's things to like about Washington, and the markets aren't all that bullish on them, even with the win total this high. I think there's chances to make money with the Nationals right out of the gate and perhaps throughout the course of the season in 2019.